In this video, I'm going to show you how to fold a traditional Japanese crane, and to do so, you need to start with a square piece of paper. Once you have your square, you have to fold your square in half all the different ways you can fold a square in half, which means when you open your paper up, you should have these 4 creases. So fold it in half so that you get a triangle. Open it up and fold it the other way to get the triangle. And then open it up and fold it in half to get a rectangle, and then rotate it and do the same. So after you've made those 4 folds, you should have these 4 lines of symmetry. Now from here, we're going to take our opened up square and fold it in half along one of the creases you just made so that it's a triangle. And then fold the triangle in half. I didn't create any new creases, I'm just using the ones that existed. So now I have an open side and then where the fold is, like the closed side, and I'm going to hold it like this. So one of my hands is going to hold on to the triangle flap there, and the other flap is right here, so that I can take it and squash it down. It should open up for you, and it will squash into a square. So I have a square with one of the creases down the center. So then you flip it over, and you do the same thing. Hold this flap down, lift this flap up, open. Don't make a new crease, the crease is already there. Just open, squash it down till you get a square. So along this top edge, I have all the folds I created, and then I have the open end over here, and it's a square with 2 flaps on one side and 2 flaps on the other side. So now we're going to take these flaps and turn this square into a kite. Now to do so, you take the first flap of your square, right? And you're going to take this edge and fold it to that center line. So you take this edge, fold it to the center line as precisely as possible, and then crease it down. And then you take the other side. This bottom edge here gets folded to the center in the exact same way. And what you end up with is the kite. Now, you have to do the same thing on the back. Now make sure you folded the opened edge, not the top edge, to the center. So you're going to close the square up into a kite. Repeat on the second side so that the entire shape is now a kite. So you should have closed folds up here. You should still be able to see your 2 flaps, and then you have these 2 little panels that are folded up, and the overall shape should be a kite. So now we need to make an additional crease along this edge, along the top, on both sides. So I've drawn the line here. So if I have my kite, what I'm trying to fold is that crease there. So to do so, you open up your kite, and then to get the square, you take this top flap, and it's the closed flap, not the open flap, the closed flap at top, fold it down to get a crease, lift it back up. We don't want that fold, we just want that line in the paper. Close it back up, and repeat on the second side. Now you already have a crease going one direction here, so all you have to do is reverse it. Make it go the other direction. Open it back up and close it. So what you have is your kite now with this crease along the top. So now we need to take the kite, open the 2 flaps we folded earlier, and hold it down so that this crease is held in place. And then we're going to take the top flap and lift it up and fold it back along that crease. And we're going to open it up, and there's a little bit of resistance here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop these creases so that they fold the other direction. And then when I lower these 2 sides, I get this shape, which is a rhombus, in case you were wondering. Okay, then I'm going to do it to the other side as well. Okay, so I hold this top flap down, open these 2 sides up, hold it down right along that crease so that when I lift up this panel and fold it back, reverse these 2 creases on the inside, squish it down, and you get your rhombus. And what you're left with, you should have two little legs down here. These two little legs, one's going to become the neck and head of the bird, and the other one is going to become the tail. And then up here at the top, you have two wings, and then what's going to become the back of the bird. And in case you're wondering, this is called bird base because it is what you need to get to before you can make a bird. So we're going to now make the crane. So to do so, we have to thin out these two pieces. And to do that, we are going to notice that there are two flaps there and two flaps there, right? So you can take the first flap, not the wing, of the legs, and this edge needs to be folded to the center. Don't fold this point to the center. Don't do that. We're not trying to get the point to the center. We want this edge to the center because we need the effect of this leg here being thinner. See how it made it thinner on that side? Because I folded this edge to the center. And repeat on the other side. Lift up the flap, this edge gets folded to the center like so. So what you get, if you hide the back two flaps, is something that looks like this. Now repeat on the other side. Flip it over, this flap edge to the center. Crease it down. And then this flap edge to the center. So now what you have is another kite. Little legs down here, thinner side, wings still up there, right? And now we have to make the head and tail of the bird. So take your piece, rotate it this way, and here's the easiest way to do this. Open up these two sides like so, fold this up, and close it back so that this piece gets folded inward, like it becomes a little valley when you look down at it. And then close it back up. So that little thing is sticking up, that was the point down there. Repeat on the other side. Hold it to the side, open it up, fold this flap up, and there should already be a crease there for you. Just fold it up, reverse this fold so that it goes inward and downward like a little valley, and you close it up like so. Okay. And so what you get left with is something that looks like this. Now what I like to do is I like to pick the side that's not folded as precisely and crisply as the other. You'll notice that this one here is more precise and pointy, and this one's a little bit messed up. So what I like to do is to take the side that's a little bit messed up and sort of just take it and pull it down a little bit to an angle that you like, and then pinch it down here to crease it. And then this is going to be the neck and head of my bird. And I'm going to do the same thing with the tail. I'm going to take it, pull it down a little bit until I get an angle that I like, and then squeeze it as soon as I have the angle I like. And now to make the head of the bird, I'm going to take this flap here, I'm going to flatten it down, and then pinch it closed. So now what I have is a crane. And you can leave it this way if you like. And if you want to, you can make it a little more 3D by opening it up a bit on its wings and put your thumbs on either side of the back of the bird, right? Really close to the base. Hold it tight. My fingers are holding the bird tight, see? And then very gently pull it apart, and you can make a crane that's a little more 3D. Now if you hold it by its wings and pull it, you're very likely going to rip its wings off, and you don't want to do that. So hold it really close to the back, gently pull apart, and you have your crane.